you still are you fucking with me? Or are you frozen still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
That was pretty good.
It wouldn't be such a big deal if it wasn't such like it takes like 15 minutes to set everything up from scratch when you first open everything up. So it's like everything's got to be going. You know what I mean? So in case we got cut off, this is episode 184. As always, Adam to the left of me. Tonight on the show, we have someone or some buddies from the strip club down, or the gentleman's club, I think they prefer to call it, down in the fine state of Rhode Island. Silhouettes will be joining us shortly, hopefully, within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. But we were just going off about how fucking hot it is. Now, I can't remember. Did you say you have an AC in your room?
No, not in this room. It's in the living room. But it doesn't really reach out here.
In your bedroom, like where the magic happens.
No, because by the time I go to bed, it's cool enough to just put the window open.
Yeah.
You know? But like, nah, it's just in the living room. That's where I spend most of my time. So. Gotcha.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. The room you use the most. We're thinking about getting the central air in the house, but that costs money. And you know what? You can't find contractors these days. Building materials are sky high, and the last thing you want to do is get air conditioning installed in the summer, because so does everyone else. So
yeah, exactly. And even if you go to get one of a wall unit or a window unit, those are usually sold out too, because everyone runs out to buy one.
Yeah, exactly. You pay for windows you're going to use about 10 times, maybe. See, the AC in Henry's room, we get our money's worth because the heat doesn't really hit his room. So we use it as a heater and a AC because it's one of those the hoses that go out the window. Okay. So we get our money's worth of that one. That was like a $500 unit because the second floor doesn't get very good heat up here for some reason. But like the window unit downstairs, we use it for probably like 2 months. And we really just got it for the back room because the dogs used to hang out in there. But now the dogs just hang out in the house. They don't hang out there anymore. So it's kind of useless at this point. So we're going to put that in the spare bedroom. But yeah, we're definitely going to get some central air in this house. But
how much does that even cost?
I don't know. If it cost Ross $10,000, it probably cost about the same for me.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, it's fucking. You figure how much is one of those split units? $500, right? So it's good for 25 years. Before you have to do any maintenance or anything on it, and it's more efficient with the heat and the air conditioner. So in theory, it makes sense, but.
It says the average is 5,600 to 7,400. That's what it says.
Well, I was going by what Ross's square footage of the house and about how much work he has to have done, and I have to approximately have the same amount plus a little bit more because there's got to be his system is already existing and they kind of tweaked it. My system pretty much has to be like a full fucking gut. So
I don't know how I did this when I was a kid. We didn't have air conditioning in my house when I was a kid. We just had fans everywhere. How the fuck did I deal with this?
My parents had these 2 air conditioners. They only have one now. But remember those big ass window units that were
yeah, you were telling me. Yeah.
25,000 BTUs. Like these 2 units, one was in the kitchen one was in the living room. Those 2 units by themselves could keep the entire house, first floor, that's all we had was a ranch, at like 72 degrees all summer long, no matter how hot it was outside. And the one in the living room finally died a couple of years ago, but we still have the one in the kitchen, and that one by itself can keep the kitchen and living room at like 70 degrees all fucking day. And it's 30 years old. The air conditioner is 30 years old, and it still works like it was brand new.
You can really fuck up buying an air conditioner too, because I don't understand really how it works. Somebody tried to explain it to me, but the amount of BTUs might not be able to suck in enough air, and you might not get. It's not like you can just buy any AC unit and get cold air.
You have to know how your square footage, and then what I roughly do is I used to do this for a living when I calculated AC. But there's a formula you use for the square footage, and that calculates your BTUs of how much you approximately need for the room. But you also have to take in consideration insulation. This is really boring for people. The insulation of your ceiling on your walls, and also the height of your ceiling. Because if you have a 500 square foot room, but your ceiling is like 15 feet high, the BTU, there's more cubic air to be cooled, if you will. So yeah, you just can't go to the store. You have to have some kind of knowledge. If you just go to the store and buy any old air conditioner, and you're shooting in the dark if it's going to kill your room or not. You know what I mean? Or it's just going to overwork itself, and it's not going to be efficient. And it's going to charge a lot of electricity.
True.
But the Bruins are already losing 1-0, and we're a little more than halfway through the first period. So I think this is done for them tonight. The Celtics are already done. I think the Bruins are on the way to be done. I think this is going to keep on the lasting evanescence of Boston sports that the Patriots and the Red Sox are the best teams in town, and both teams will be winning their Super Bowls and World Series this year. Just so you know.
I think a certain friend of ours, if the if the Bruins lose today, we'll probably be all over Twitter angry.
Yes, he will be. And a certain person we work with in the back will probably be very angry as well.
The mouth on him is like...
Oh, God, it's like a fucking truck driver.
On that kid? Jesus Christ.
Can't wait to go to his graduation party. It's going to be fun. Yeah. You know what they say? The girl, I get older, but the girls stay the same age. Oh, giggity. I went out to watch the dog today, and I went on my deck, and there was a dead mouse on the deck, flat as a pancake. I suspect a bird grabbed him and dropped him because this thing looked like it was just pancake down. Like, it wasn't like flat, but it definitely had some visual trauma to the poor little guy. So
could have been a cat too. A cat could have snatched it, tried to dine on it somewhere, and left it there.
Yeah, we have a black cat that a stray that runs in my backyard. He comes by once a day. We call him Salem the cat, and he's kind of on mouse patrol because we got all that field behind us. So the field mice thrive out there. But Salem the cat will do his best to protect the property, and I think maybe he was bringing because cats bring it as a reward. Like they want to this is what I got for you. You know what I mean? They want to show off with their reward. So that perhaps could have been it, but it wasn't like at a door. It was kind of like randomly on my side deck. So Sue had took the dogs out one day, and a mouse fell from the sky.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, we got these giant ass fucking birds that like live in the bird sanctuary behind us. That just scoop these little fuckers up, and I think that's the way they kill them too. They drop them from the ground so they die, and then they eat them. I think that's another. Perhaps I know they do that with turtles. Birds do have turtles. They'll drop them from the sky to crack the shell. Yeah, it's fucking horrific. Who does this thing, you know? I didn't even see if we're even on Facebook right now. I know my computer over here says we are, but are we really? Because, you know, Facebook is, I feel like we're being censored by Facebook. Because we're so edgy. You know? We say things that only people dream about. But, you know, also the internet in this fucking house is absolute garbage. Right before we started the show again, of course, it seems like every time at 7 o'clock, the fucking thing goes out. And, see. I see it. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're right on path. Yeah, it seems like every time we start the show at like 7 o'clock, it goes out and we're dead in the water. I don't understand why. I mean, could it be a conspiracy? I know you don't believe in conspiracies, and I know we're so low on the radar, no one really cares about us. But actually, it's funny. Are you familiar with Steven Crowder at all, the comedian?
Sounds familiar. If I can look him up. I'll tell you.
Yeah. So he has the #1 most viewed live stream on YouTube. Like he's been going on for years. Like he gets like lots of views when he does his live stream. So he does this show.
Yep.
You know, every day for like an hour and a half, and then he goes behind a paywall for like another hour. So YouTube has basically been first strike, they demonetized him. The second strike, they suspended him for a couple months. And so they're very, very particular on the things that, like, you know, they're pretty much being pricks if they don't, because it doesn't really go with their agenda. You know, all these social media platforms and stuff like that. So today I was watching the show, streaming live, and then he started talking about the president, and all of a sudden, the YouTube connection in his studio went off and everything went blank for like 10 minutes. And then it kicked back on. So I'm sure there's people listening to his show and they were like, yep, we're going to put the mute on that and do a little craziness with the connection. But I don't know. You never know. I wonder if Files would be a little more better than the fucking Comcast. I don't know.
Is it available in your area? They just did a massive upgrade. So I don't know.
They're running it in my street right now because I could see the telephone poles. They have the big spools and they're putting them down. Yeah. So whether it's connected online or not, I do not know. I've had it once. Oh, the Bruins just tied. Nice. 1-1. I just I had it in one of my old apartments, and I didn't like the only fact I didn't like about it was I was paying like a little bit less, but I lost like 10 channels that I was getting with Comcast. But like I really don't fucking give a shit about the channel shit anymore. I'm really getting like done with the whole fucking like I the $181 a month. What am I doing? What am I getting? You know what I mean? I mean, you have the right idea, but then like you start talking about all these pay apps, right? And they start fucking adding up, and before you know it, you might as well just have the Comcast that has it all in one.
Yeah, I mean, but I do pirate a lot of. I mean, I just pay for my internet, and I have like antenna. I pay like $50.
Yeah.
I pay $50 for everything.
How'd you get away with $50 cable?
Sorry, 60. No, I don't have cable.
No,
I have
like for internet. How? Because every time I call Comcast, the cheapest they could do for me is $87 a month.
I get less. I know mine is less than that. I know it's no more than 70. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's I want to say it's between 60 and 70. I'll look next time.
I'm curious because I'd like to use you, not you, but the number you have as an example, saying that I know someone who's getting this type of. Because
the thing is, though, you would require probably because you have a house and more shit. Your speed is probably more demanding.
Could be, but I'm probably using the same amount of bandwidth as you.
True.
Yeah, I mean it's maybe a splash more just because I have like the cameras and the thermostat on Wi-Fi and stuff, but I don't know. Who knows? But it's hot as balls. This hot coffee is actually working. I'm actually working up a little bit of sweat right now, and I'm actually I'm cooling off a little bit. I'm pretty soon going to sweat through my Connecticut Tigers, a defunct baseball team in Connecticut, by the way. R.I.P. COVID took them out. Yeah. So there you go. But
so I got a question. I'm reading this fucked up news story. Do you find this more like touching and sad or disturbingly fucked up? Let me ask you. All right. So this man decided to take his dog for a walk, but the thing is, his dog was already dead. He wanted to take his dog for a walk one last time before he threw him away.
Okay.
He was arrested for animal cruelty.
Was he dragging the dog?
That's what yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, see, that seems fucked up. I mean, I get the whole thing, right?
He was carrying him. By the neck. But he was already dead.
Yeah, I get that. I also get the optics of it not being very nice as well. I'm thinking perhaps maybe if I could offer him a suggestion, maybe get a wagon or maybe a baby carriage to put the little guy in, and then do the whole parade across the yard. What his route is. I get it. That's I know. I mean, you've experienced probably dead dogs before when you were growing up, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I just read a little further down, and it gets a little more fucked up. So when police and representatives from Animal Care Services spoke to him, he claimed that his dog had died from depression. And according to an affidavit obtained by the station, however, the results of a necropsy completed the following month suggested the animal actually died from asphyxiation from strangulation. So this guy looks fucked up. His eyes are just like not cool. So
yeah, I'm gonna go.
I take back everything I just.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and say he probably killed it and had a little bit of guilt and wanted to maybe as a way to maybe make himself feel a little bit innocent to take the dog out, but in his fucked up way, he didn't really logically think it out and just looked like he was killing the dog further. I don't know. It sounds fucked up to me. No, I don't think no person in their right mind would do something like that. I don't think.
No.
I'm
looking at another guy right now that looks like a real winner. He's got a tattoo of the state of Florida right here on his forehead, and he called 911 because he needed a ride home.
Oh, okay. Did they arrest him, or did they drive him home?
Yeah.
What would they arrest you for, though? Like, can they arrest you?
Abuse of the 911 system.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
It's something like that. Yeah.
That thing. Yeah. I guess so. I guess
he's released on $300 bond. It's not like he's there. He's going to get like a sentence or anything. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's an efficient way to get home. Like they say, a lot of homeless people try to get arrested in the wintertime so they're nice and warm. I don't know. Okay, that's an interesting.
Fucked up world we live in. Did you see that El Salvador has accepted now BitCurrency as officially as its first country now to accept Bitcoin as currency?
Really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that makes sense considering the El Salvadoran dollar is so garbage. I know someone who went
right?
Yeah, I mean, who the hell was I was watching something or else I can't remember what it was. But a person had gone down to El Salvador for like the 3 or 4 months when shit was getting bad over the wintertime just to hang out and live on there. and they said that he paid everything in American dollars because the conversion would be like $1 is like 10,000 fucking Guatemalan dollars. So people just accept American currency because it's worth more. So he'll pay like, say like a coffee was like, $2, right? He'd pay $2 because it's worth more to them at $2 than the cost of the pesos or whatever it would cost them to, you know what I mean? But still cheaper. Yeah. But it makes sense but how does I understand the government accepts it or the country accepts it, but how
does it work? I know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Because in theory, all money is supposed to have, which we both don't think has some kind of like representation. So like every dollar bill printed has a bar of gold that represents it, right? But we all both know that's fucking gone off the wind. That hasn't happened since like 1972 was the last time a dollar bill actually equaled or was bounded on, which is kind of scary too, because basically, and you talk about how like Bitcoin's unstable and stuff, and like obviously today I was down $500, now I'm up $20. So, and you look at the fluctuation of the bar, it's ridiculous. But aren't you afraid that the American dollar could do the same?
I'm not.
You don't think it would collapse? The currency would collapse ever?
No, I think it could get damaged, but I just feel like there's probably placeholders to allow that from hitting a certain point. Plus, so many countries are so tied to our dollar. They might find eventually, though. I know Russia right now is breaking away from the U.S. dollar. That's what could cause that. But as of right now, it can't happen because there's so many countries that look to the U.S. dollar as a guide still. Yeah,
no, that's true, because you figure it like it's a valuable currency. I mean, how many third world countries will accept the American dollar for buying stuff? I guess. And it was like, I didn't really in Europe. No, it was tough to use the American dollar in Europe when I was there. At least that was like 12 years ago. They really pressed on using the euro because it was worth less. You know what I mean? Like, but in Canada, a lot of places will still take the American dollar.
Most places still do.
Mexico and the islands for sure.
Africa does.
Yeah, but that's only because their currency is worth less. I guess when the currency. So is it ever possible for the Chinese currency to be worth more than us, perhaps somewhere down the line?
I don't know. I think the euro right now might be worth more than the U.S. dollar. Actually,
it usually is. It was when I was there. The euro was always worth more than, from what I remember. It was always. I remember cashing in $200 American dollars, only getting like 175 euros. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
But
when I remember going to Canada as a kid, and it was almost like a 1-to-2 ratio. Like for every like dollar, you got like $2. This was like in 2002-ish.
Yeah, actually, the U.S. dollar is better than the euro right now. 1 euro is actually no, the euro is better. My bad. 1 euro is 1.22 U.S. dollars.
That's actually really, really low, because it was almost like 1.5 or something. I want to say when I was there.
I think so. Yeah.
But that also, the euro is also a representation of all the countries there, right? So if one country has a bad economy or is hurting the economy, that's why like the Greek, when they went to euro, the value of a lot of countries' currency went down. Like Germany's currency, the dollar, that the franc they were using, I guess you could say, the value of it significantly went down because they were merging it with like Greece, whose currency was like garbage at that point,
Yeah.
That's what's scary. Like when they talk about the Americo, is that the dollar they want to do with Canada, America, and Mexico? And it's like it's supposed to be like a North American currency, which I think was something that was big and talked about like in the 80s and 90s. But like in reality, it's kind of a garbage idea at this point with digital currency, But
I mean, it's all. I'm not worried about that, especially I'm definitely not worried about the stock market. I mean, it's going to go down. Everything happens in cycles. A crash is going to happen at some point. But like that's just part of the cycle. It's what happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right
now, everything is amazing. The stock market over the last like 3 weeks has been insane, and that means there's going to be a correction and things are going to fall eventually, and it's just what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fucking predict it. If you predicted it'd be a millionaire, People be like, hey, this guy knows everything. Let me get him.
But I mean, it simply said, I mean, what goes up does come down. You just don't know when.
Yeah, it won't go down too crazy. It'll never crash, I don't think, like it did like in the 20s. I mean,
no.
I think there's too many checks and balances, and I think that was proven with the whole GameStop.
Yeah.
Well, no, the GameStop thing, for example, too, like how like they had like the emergency shut off, so they wouldn't allow people to buy it anymore because the value was going too high. You know what I mean? You could still
that wasn't really a crash, though. That was
no, but it's an abnormal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's like an example because that abnormally could happen anyway. Like all of a sudden one day, like people just start selling. But there's got to be some kind of checks and balance to prevent it from completely crashing. You would think, hopefully. Otherwise, you get Wall Street guys jumping out of skyscrapers again, which is fucking crazy.
Dude, it is like,
Or you could be like the Murdoch and almost bankrupt an entire baseball team like the New York Mets.
dude, that guy was like, it's amazing a guy like that. Well, I mean, he's kind of almost no different. Well, the OneCoin. I remember telling you about OneCoin.
Yeah. So talk about a little bit of OneCoin. I'm very interested. I looked a little bit up. If I was reading a little bit of it as well before the show because I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so like it's kind of the reason why I think in a lot of ways cryptocurrency gets a bad rep, and it was because in 2014, all of a sudden this doctor who has like credentials that like from really good schools. We're not talking about like some crumb bum who just, hey, I'm going to invent a cryptocurrency and like try to sell people on. No, this was a person, this Dr. Rajacek, who she created this. She comes out in like this press conference. I remember I've seen the video, and like she comes out, starts talking about this OneCoin, and it's the new Bitcoin killer, and you should invest in it. And like she's very charismatic. She has like all this data. Graphs always look good and stuff like that. And people bought into it, and it turned out it was a giant fucking Ponzi scheme. And there were warning signs, but nobody listened. Everyone was investing in OneCoin to be the new Bitcoin killer. And then all of a sudden in 2016, the writing started to be on the wall that things were going to come crashing down as they were under investigation. She just disappears right before a press conference that she was supposed to have on a stage, like a prep rally. And she just disappears. Her brother takes over. He eventually goes to jail. But she has never been seen again since 2016. No idea where she is.
So was the brother knowing that there was a problem, or you think he was like blindsided? Because
no, I don't think so. What is he in jail
why would you
for?
step into something if you knew it was like you were going to be liable? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess to protect your sister, but like at what cost?
Or maybe he killed her. Who knows?
Were they able to track any of the money back that anyone got?
That's a good question. There's so much that's tight-lipped about this. Like it was a $4 billion Ponzi scheme. I think because there's still investigation going on in this. This is going to go on for this happened in 2016. It all came crashing down, but it's still going on to this day, this investigation.
Let me grab some ice here. I want to give you an example right here. This was full of ice when the show started 20 minutes ago. And I don't know if you could see it, but a third of the ice.
Yeah, you got like
it's already melted. So that gives you, if that's any consolation of how hot it is in this room, ice is literally melting in front of your eyes. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah. So I text the Gentlemen's Club to see if they'll be joining us. So still waiting to find out. Perhaps they're like that comedian that joined us a few months ago who just had the East Coast, West Coast time off. But from what I understand, Providence is in the same area time zone as us, is it not? Unless Rhode Island has that weird half-hour difference that we just don't know about.
It doesn't. It's the same. It's East Coast.
I know. I was making it funny. Ooh, yeah.
Right over there?
This is great.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Loud.
Yes. That's a fucked up Ponzi scheme. But one of the biggest ever in history was actually this. I think it was a British sailor. It was like a long ass time ago. And this is when you could get away with something like this before, obviously way before the internet. We're talking like planes didn't even exist yet. I'm not even quite sure in the year, but he sailed back from basically the islands, like past like Hawaii, like down there, back to the Britain, right? Yeah. And he was like, oh, I just discovered this amazing country, right? You can buy land there. Give me money, and I'll sell you a plot of land. He even created fake currency. But the thing is, this country didn't exist. He completely made up a country, right? And he created currency and a flag and like all this shit. And it's like, you can buy property there, right? And like he sold these people like fake property that wasn't real to like for this island that didn't exist.
I mean, that's the whole reason deeds exist, is because back in the day, you would just claim land and say it was yours, but there was no reason someone else couldn't come and claim said land and say it was theirs. So and then there was an argument. Who do you go to the court? And they'd be like, "Well, I was here first." No, I was here first. So like the whole creation of deeds, like in the 1800s, was basically to pretty much be like, "All right, this is your land. This is what you own. This is the dimensions. This is, you know what I mean?" Because of situations like this. It's kind of
find the name of the country. He even made a fucking flag.
That's awesome. Now that is a real skill right there. And how was he supposed to get to this country? It's funny that he was selling a country that people had no knowledge about. It wasn't like there was a camera where you could show them pictures of it.
Yeah, there wasn't even an airplane. He had to go by ship and shit. Yeah.
And did the guy even go on a ship? Did he just go like to the bar down the street and was like, I just came back from a journey 15 months?
Yeah, right.
Possible.
Buy in now, you know? Yeah. It's crazy shit.
People try to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge, you know? There's a bridge for sale in Brooklyn. And all the kids are talking about it. In case you didn't know. I think I talked about this in the beginning of the show, but I think it got cut off. I haven't drank in 9 days.
Nine days.
9 days.
Yeah.
And if I haven't sweated out all the alcohol that was in my system prior to this, I am doing it right now. So there you go. I'll be nice and cleansed.
Today's a test. But you said the bar, it went pretty well, right? Not drinking. It was difficult, the bar?
I just avoid the bar at all situations, because then that's the case. I can't drink.
Yeah.
So
but you work at one, so I mean, it's like,
I can't drink while I work. I can't, but after or before or whatever, like they would be, you know, I couldn't do. I could if I wanted to, you know, but I just choose not to. So,
true.
You know, that it makes things a little bit easier. And then the fact that I can't really stay after the bar anymore because we close right at closing time. It's least of a temptation to fight to sit there and drink after the fact. But like, it wasn't so bad. I thought maybe going to a restaurant would be a problem, but no, I just get a soda water with some lemon juice, you know?
Sure, that'll fill your stomach up.
I feel fine.
So you brought something to my attention last week. I wanted to talk, kind of talk about. I forget the term that you said it was, but you said now it is bad to have a preference for the kind of people you like to.
Fetishize, it's called.
Fetishize?
Fetish sizing.
That's called fetish sizing. Okay.
So I came across this. I was watching a YouTube video on something. I don't know what it was. And Bumble, the dating app, had paid for advertisement to pop up during this program. And it was like a 2.5-minute commercial. So I was like, this is odd. I'm going to check it out. And it says, and it had like an Asian lady, it had like a black dude, and it had like a transgender person. And they were talking about how they don't like when guys or girls swipe right to them, basically because of what their either nationality or skin color or sex is, which I found very bizarre because, as you and I had stated, it wouldn't just be a preference. Like, I prefer Asian women or I prefer black men, right? Separate that one right there. I prefer black men. There's a sound bit for you guys for later. But to me, that feels like just a preference, you know, something you prefer. I don't know how that's fetishizing.
Yeah, I just came across a message board and people bitching about all this, actually talking. And so this is what somebody says. Okay, so a fetish, though, fetishizing, is the context means you have some idealized concept or mental thought constructed that paints a certain race with broad strokes. It could be argued that you are more in love with the mental thought construct itself than the actual living, breathing human being. A preference is the context, is a more general term for literally what turns you on. It can be a racially fetishized preference or a non-racially fetishized preference. For example, I love girls who have big ass, big tits, and a pretty face, who are somewhat in tune with Asian culture. If you are an XF that meets these criteria, let's hook up. This criteria for me transcends race. There are whites, blacks, Latins, Asians who perfect. This doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, I think it's a bullshit thing. It's a made up thing, to be honest with you.
It's bullshit.
I don't buy it. It's a preference. If you prefer, like I prefer all women, you know, or maybe you prefer all guys. Any shape, size, or color. But like, if you have a preference, I like to date blonde women or brunette women. You know what I mean? I'm not having a fetish about blondes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. They almost make it sound like when you go, oh, you know, you're talking to a girl, and like, oh, what are you, Asian? I'm like, oh, I really like Asian women. No, you're fetishizing. Well, how do you know you don't like Asian women because of maybe, you know, you like their typical body stature or their culture, perhaps? You're
Yes.
really
Yeah.
into Asian culture, you like their morals and their maybe their understanding on life, their perspective on things. And this is a general, you know, statement because not all Asians are alike, not all people are alike, but perhaps, you know, it's a generalization that majority of this particular race or this particular culture does these particular things that you prefer and you like.
Yeah.
So how am I a villain if this is what I like? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I don't find that offensive at
It's
all. I
no
don't.
difference. So liking an Asian or a black person preference is no difference than liking a girl with a big ass.
I agree.
Because there's some guys that just date girls with big asses. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. So in a big ass is, I guess, in a sense, a fetish. So are you fetishizing because you like the big ass?
Shit,
I
no,
feel like
just
it's the racial thing, but then it really threw me off with the transgender that was on there talking about it, and to me, that even blew my mind even more because that's basically like saying that you like men or women, and because I like women, I'm fetishizing about women. Because if you like a transgender person, then you obviously have a preference for that. Now you're taking it to another level and really complicating the whole. I like someone. I like girls who have these features. You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's basically I did the girl on the there was a black woman on the commercial too, and she was like, I just get offended when white guys date me just because so they don't seem racist. That blew my mind because I don't know anyone, and maybe they're out there. It's not gonna say that doesn't
Yeah,
exist,
I mean, there's always
but
some kind of weirdo out there
but
like that. But
who does that? Like, I mean, that's a lot of effort to go out there and date a particular race or someone, and it works both ways too. It could be a black woman dating a white guy because she doesn't want to seem racist. I mean, that seems like
yeah,
a lot of effort. That sounds like this like psychological mental issues that
yeah,
now are piling up on us, right? I
that's
mean,
true. It's true.
that's a
It is a great bonus, though. Like if you are dating someone from another race, and you can say all the jokes you want, but you don't do it for that primary reason.
no. I mean, maybe some people do, but I don't. I've never encountered someone that was honest enough to tell me that was the case.
Yeah.
That's just bizarre to me.
Imagine if someone said to you, "You just love me because I'm black."
I'd be like, what? What?
It used to be you just don't like me because I'm black. Now it's you love me because I'm black. What the fuck? We can't win.
Yeah. I mean, that's like dating as like I only like blonde girls. You
Yeah.
know, I only like brunette girls. You know, so am I being discriminative towards blonde girls? You know, just
I don't
because.
know.
But I can
Our
see that.
white privilege.
But I don't understand why guys don't turn that to them. So basically, like you could say, like, oh, a girl likes a guy, and the guy goes, I prefer dating blondes because that's a preference I have. And then the girl calls out you being a discriminative racist person because they're brunette and you only date blondes. You could
But
really open a Pandora's box of this.
but you know what the bigger problem is too? People will actually now start apologizing for this as if it is wrong. And that's what enables these people to go even further and even further. And when does it stop? You know?
It just seems to me that I see like the I haven't been on the dating apps in quite some time, but is an example of Bumble trying to be woke? Is
I
this
don't know. It might be. I don't know. I
because
have no
we
idea.
all know that Tinder's the old hookup app, right? That's the one everyone used to go to for a quick bang, and you meet someone real quick. And some people are using it for meaningful relationships, but for the most part, it's the quick because each party can both select the person, both sides, and so and so. And but Bumble was what? It's the exclusive. Only you can like a girl, but you can only start talking to her if she likes you. Is that how it works?
Dude, I don't know. But you know who we could use for this? Noel.
We could use. He's almost 18. We could get him on this thing.
He might be like, but my girlfriend. But fuck,
Yeah.
we could keep.
We could use. Yeah, it would be nice to use someone as an example to figure this.
He can be our experiment to go on a dating app.
So I guess you could say that you could feel more comfortable if you're woke to use Bumble because it's ladies' choice, which I also feel might be discriminative. Because what happens? How can it be guys' choice? You know what I mean? Why can't I start talking? Why can't the guy go first? Why do I have to wait for the girl to go first? That to me seems like it's very old-fashioned and very, very discriminative. And I can make a statement right now and make that the case. As could you.
It's ruining comedy. It's ruining comedy too. Like it's ruined movies. It's ruining comedy.
Yeah.
When was the last time there was a really good kind of raunchy comedy? It's been like when? like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it is killing the movie industry, and it just goes by how like the Oscars and Academy Awards and all the ratings are lower than they ever been. Football, yeah,
Yep.
Football. I want to touch on something about football too, which might floor you, that I thought was pretty interesting. But stand-up comedy is still surviving, because here's the thing: it's stand-up comedy. Most comics don't give a shit. The ones who are woke and so sensitive don't really survive in the gigs. The problem is, if you're an edgy comic, you're not going to get the Hollywood shit and the TV shit, because you got to be woke in order to get that stuff. So it's a fine line you have to dance to get the two. So you're either going to have to commit just to being a funny comedian, or you're going to commit to being like one of those sensitive woke bastards and make it uncomfortable for everyone. But like, people who go to comedy shows, like, they're victim. They could be easily picked out. If you're sitting in a comedy show and you're offended and you want to make a point and yell it out, they're going to rip you apart. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
I will say, though, even going back to, like, sometimes I do hear things and I think it is a little much, like, but I don't expect them to apologize, but given the time it happened. You know what I mean? It was a different era. So saying you apologize for something you said in 1985 seems a little ridiculous, right? But sure. Like, when I remember watching, Eddie Murphy's, classic stand-up special, from the 80s, he's got the red, you know what I'm talking about. What's the name of that one?
Yeah, I don't know the name, so I know exactly.
But he went on about, like, he's like, oh, the first, like, 5-10 minutes, he's talking about, I don't want any faggots looking at my ass. Like, he's just bitching about gay people. Yeah. And I thought that was, like, I know back then there was like a whole thing of homophobia, and maybe that was what, I was like, oh, man, like, oof, that's a tough one to swallow, but I wouldn't apologize for it. Like, I'm looking at a list right now of comedians who have apologized for things, and it's like, dude, don't apologize. You're enabling these people to, like, just keep fucking, like, ranting, The
one comedian I do say who needed to apologize, and there was Michael Richards on his rant, because that wasn't even telling a joke. That was just insulting a guy in the audience for no reason, calling him the N-word over and over and over again.
Yeah, it wasn't even part of a joke.
No,
yeah, it just...
The guy heckled him, and he just lost his mind and was ripping him. So that I could see. But, like, if you're telling a joke in some kind of context, it's, like, a little bit offensive. I mean, any funny joke is going to be somewhat offensive to someone. Otherwise, it's not going to be funny. And, if you're just being mean, then, like, you're just being a dick. And everyone's going to agree that you're just a fucking dick and you shouldn't be saying that stuff. But if you're just telling jokes and it's under the context of, like, comedy, and then, like, you kind of shouldn't apologize, because you're doing your job. And if someone's going to be bitching about that, then they really shouldn't go to the comedy show, because it's a free country, and if you don't like it, you can just leave, Fucking annoying as hell. But so back on stereotyping type stuff. The NFL just came off an apology the other day. I don't know if you've seen this or not. So apparently, and I didn't believe this to be actually a true story, but I've seen a bunch of sources. When they would evaluate if a player should get any money from head injuries, right? They would give you a test. So you take a test going into the NFL rather, kind of like an IQ test, right? Yeah. And then they were giving players like an IQ test or some kind of test to, like, examine their heads, like when they wanted to put in the claim for the head injury stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And basically, they would take the difference of the two tests. And if it was a significant difference of, like, skills and motor skills and stuff like this, you'd be eligible for money. But they were lowering the bar for black players so significantly, saying they were less smarter than white players, so that when they went to take the test, the number difference was so much smaller. And this is, like, I'm just paraphrasing exactly what the idea, but this is in a nutshell. This is what they did. So they seemed like, basically, they were saying they were dumber, and them taking the secondary test, there was no change. They're still dumb, so they don't get any money. It's basically what they were doing. So the NFL came out and apologized and admitted they were doing this. This was something they admitted. They said, because they're woke now. So they said we were doing this, and I don't know if they got caught, because everything that happens in the NFL is very, very hush-hush. It's very, very tough for anything to be exposed with those people, because they're like the mafia. But it's something with the compensation with their head injury test and race. And so they came on and apologized. And I don't know what the process is right now, but they do owe probably several hundred players money for what they didn't give them. And it was a difference of money. Like, if you were more stupid than you started, like, you got, like, more money. I guess that's basically not saying they're stupid, but in a nutshell, like the score. I was just kind of
I'm reading about it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the NFL on Wednesday pledged to halt the use of race norming, which assumed black players started out with lower cognitive function. $1 billion settlement. Ooh.
Like, to me, that's like, and now you're dealing with a league that I would say 75% of the players, if not 66% of the players.
You fucked up, NFL, yeah.
And like like that's mean. Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand the NFL is like the mafia and they like control all and they can do whatever they want. But like, to have the gall on the balls. Now, to me, they came out by themselves doing this, and no one heard anything about this prior. So to me, either one of the news networks got hold of this information and was going to drop it, so they went ahead of them to
that's smart
soften the blow, or there's a leak inside the NFL and they something bad was going to happen. So to me, it seems very, very weird that like if you've been doing this for so long, why would you come and admit it? Unless you're just trying to get woke. I don't know.
I'm guessing that would happen because it says right here the standards were created in the 1990s in hopes of offering more appropriate treatment to dementia patients. But the thing is, okay, I bet you some like nerd who like no one thinks of highly, who's stuck reading the books all day, finances, and in the NFL, he's like a low-level employee. He was reading, is like, we should really revise this one. And someone looked at it and was like, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, we put this in here in like 92 and no one really did anything about it. And it's kind of like prostitution, right? Like, who's going to be the guy to legalize it? You don't want to, like, it's something, you know what I mean? It's just like in Massachusetts with the drinking laws during like the COVID thing, like where they allowed, to-go drinks and stuff to be left the restaurant and everything like that. And from my recognition, there has been no issues with that. It went smoothly. There was no problems, nothing significant. There was no one getting caught drinking a beverage on their way home by the police, But like on June 15, it all ends because the emergency. Now, I do know that the State House is having some kind of, emergency hearing on keeping some of the COVID stuff going, like the temporary patios and the drinks to go thing, to keep it to go longer, if not, make it a permanent thing into the legislation. But like, why would you just take that away? It's the stupidest thing. So like, you need something to keep that. But who's going to be the governor that says, I'm going to allow all restaurants just to have to-go drinks? It's a very weird thing. It's like a mayor of a city saying, I'm going to allow prostitution. New York kind of did that in a sense without doing it. So New York allowed prostitution, is currently allowing prostitution in New York City. And the reason they get around it is that they don't say prostitution, but what they say is, we're not going to arrest people for doing crimes that are considered misdemeanors. So you're basically saying that you can do, prostitution without saying prostitution. But who's going to be the guy that says that? You know what I mean? That's like it's a weird thing to make legal, even though if it's legal and it's not bothering anyone, no one's really going to think about it. Just like in Las Vegas, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh yeah, no one gets to think about it.
You want to talk weird to make legal? Well, decriminalized. Oregon pretty much just decriminalized in February all drugs, like psychedelics, heroin, coke. Everything in Oregon now has been decriminalized. I
heard that. Yeah, it's kind of kooky a little bit, right?
It's fucked up.
It's that's weird to me. Like I don't know. Oregon's a weird state anyways. I know there's a portion of several counties in western Oregon that want to separate from the state to join Idaho because of the more conservative views and stuff like this. And all these states talk about this all the time. Regions of like California splitting and stuff, and it's probably not going to happen. But there's a significant amount of people live in that state who don't aren't on board with that. And it was a voted thing, or was it was voted by the people, or was it voted by a legislature?
Go back. Shit, I just lost it.
People voted for that. It seems very odd for people to all universally be on board with.
Well, Oregon's fucked up anyway. The founders of Oregon, they wanted a white utopia. If there was ever a state that was designed, that was only in like 1869 too. Like, if there was ever a state, 1859, that ever wanted to, you wanted to classify as racist, it would be Oregon.
Yeah. All right, so we got a guest coming in here from Silhouette Gentlemen's Club.
Oh, okay.
It says we're going to find out who it is. Someone joining us from the club.
Mystery guest.
Mystery guest.
Whoa.
There we go.
Hey.
What's going on?
Who? Connecting audio.
No, it's connected on here. Of course it is.
Oh boy.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, big guy?
Hey.
Thanks for joining. Who we have the pleasure to speak to tonight?
Joe. My name is Joe.
What's up, Joe? How you doing? And you're
Hey, Joe.
you're from down Rhode Island, Silhouettes.
Yes, I am.
Are you the main guy down there?
I'm not the main guy, but I'm the guy.
All right. And nice to see you guys open. Did you guys close it all during the pandemic, or did you kind of modify everything?
Silhouettes just opened March 4th of this year.
Okay. So you were right in the middle of everything going on.
Yeah, we were renovating during the pandemic.
All right. Cause we've been down there before with Silhouettes back. God, we'll go back down to when it was called Cheetahs back in the late 2000s.
Oh boy, when it was the pink building.
Pink building. Then they spray painted it black and white for the wild zebra, or what it was called.
Yep.
You guys took over. I did see something that we were looking at the videos and stuff of you guys going on there, and it was 50 Cent there.
Yeah, we had 50 Cent on March 13th.
Okay, how'd that go?
Nice.
Oh, that was a sellout. That was a big event. Yes.
That's cool. Did you guys have the upstairs all done too? Because I know that was closed for a little while. What was the other place?
Yeah, upstairs is done with a shower. We got 3 stages. We redid the whole interior. We got rid of the zebra rug, put all brand new rugs in, got rid of the stench, and it's beautiful.
Nice. Well, it's good. Did you guys still have? I seen some pictures of the plexiglass around the dance floor.
Actually, it came down last week. We're back to normal now. We got rid of the fishbowl.
So no fishbowl. The people wearing masks still, or is that kind of just like?
Nope, masks are gone. We're back to full throttle.
Hell yeah, capacity, everything. So if you are in the greater Rhode Island, if you're in the Boston area, because it's only a 45-minute ride from downtown Boston to get down there, check it out. It's definitely a place to go in the Rhode Island area with many times. But we haven't been since it was Silhouettes, so we're gonna have to come down there and check it out.
Absolutely. It's a New England's premier gentleman's club. We're open Thursday through Sunday, 9 at night to close.
Okay, so you modified the hours a little bit, which is the other place. We open like 27 days a week, like open at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. They ran a different type of business than what we have now.
That's good.
During the pandemic, I'm just curious, was there any sort of like anxiety that's like, shit, like what if we can't reopen? Like, I mean, that's a huge hit. You know what I mean? I mean, there must have been a little bit.
Yeah, we were paying a nut during that pandemic, and we good thing that it opened up, and it opened up quickly. From the time we opened to where we could go full throttle was like 3 months. So
that's good.
Yeah, I mean that was an industry that at least in Massachusetts was last on the list to open, and like they're slowly just opening up here like within the last week or so. But I mean, I don't know how you maintain, because you don't, most people, they don't sell food. It's purely an entertainment type of venue. So and the girls are all dependent on the people that come in there. And you guys are dependent on the door sales and the liquor sales and stuff. And if you can't do any of that stuff, then like, how the hell you survive?
Without a doubt, it was definitely a tough stretch.
But you guys survived. That's good.
Yep, we survived, and we're thriving. And I can't wait to see the Arty 84 show come on down with Silhouettes. I got a VIP waiting for you. I got the most beautiful lineup of ladies anywhere in New England.
Don't threaten us with a good time. I mean, we'll take you up on that invite. Absolutely.
If you guys ever want to do a show from there, that'd be phenomenal.
Funny you said that. So we were actually once, probably within the next month, we're going to do a monthly show live on the road. So yeah, if you give us permission to do that and set up, we could do a live stream right there, and that'd be good.
It'd be huge. We just I don't know if you guys know Claudia Jordan. She's from Rhode Island. She used to be on The Price is Right, Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
She was there this past Friday, and she's got a podcast on Fox Soul, and she did her show live from Silhouettes Friday night.
Oh, sweet. There you go. So yeah, well, it's definitely we'll look into it. It's kind of like our show. We've had porn stars on here. We had strippers on here. We like to talk to.
We've had politicians.
We've had everybody. And I'm sure all types
a
of
bunch
people.
of hustlers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah, right.
And they all enjoy a nice gentleman's club every once in a while. Yeah.
Arty, now we just need to get a politician with a porn star at the same time on the show. Now that would be.
Well, you should definitely be able to find one in New England.
I'm sure you see him come to the door of your place. You just don't say
Absolutely.
it. One thing about your place is when you pull into the parking lot, there's a lot of Massachusetts plates there.
Oh yeah, it's the combat zone.
There you go. What you want to tell everyone where you guys are located, your address and everything?
Yeah, we're at 245 Allens Ave in Providence, right off of 95, less than a minute off 95, exit 18. Very convenient. We painted the building. It's brand new paint. It's a nice beige color. We got LED lights all across the roof.
Nice.
Lighting up the sky. Yep.
There you go. Now all you do is get Allen's Avenue paved so that you don't have to go off-road when you're driving down there. Jesus Christ, that road sucks. It's like you go, it's like you blow, you're like, you muffler. You're going down over the train tracks down there.
Absolutely. You know that street well, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I had a job site. I was down the street from there, and I had to go down Allen's Avenue like 4 times a week. And every time you go down there, it was like I was going off road. And maybe we could help. Maybe we could make a plea to the town of the city of Providence to help clean that up a little bit over there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, absolutely. Be a long time coming.
Awesome, Joe. Well, thank you for joining us again. That's Silhouettes in Providence, Rhode Island. What days and times you guys open again?
We're open Thursday through Sunday, 9 p.m. to close.
There you go, 9 p.m.
Yep.
So, Joe, awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for popping in.
Thank you, guys. You have a great night.
Us too. We'll send you up on our Instagram for some information too from some future adventures.
Absolutely. And please come and join us. I'd love to have you guys as company.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
Rock and roll.
Joe here, Silhouettes, Rhode Island. Have a good night, brother.
Thank you.
That was great. Just pops in, talks a little bit, just hangs out.
I mean, I contacted them. We were going to the Instagram of people that follow us, and we follow them and see if they want to come on. It was a nice little infomercial right there. I do like that idea from the live stream. I think that'd be pretty interesting. Right from one of the tables.
Yeah, I'm about to send you a text of a photo. I haven't sent it yet.
I know one of our friends who would enjoy the VIP experience down there.
You know what? If you're gonna no, he can't come. Fuck him. No, no. He's gonna ruin it. He's gonna no. You know what we do? Tell him the day of as we're going.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, by the way, you want to come? So you're like, oh, I gotta work. You can't get out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh God, fuck that. He's just be miserable eventually.
I wasn't sure where Joe was at first. He had that velvet back to him. Like it was like a backdrop.
Oh, he's just laying in bed.
It looks like a bed. Yeah. I was like, oh, I thought he was like at the club or something like that. But yeah, there you go. I cleaned up the smell. It did have an interesting, when it was the old place, they have a unique aroma.
Well, I'm assuming they've done some upgrades since then because the photo I'm about to send you looks very scary. I just sent you, look at your phone. It looks like it's in a mill. Like it was.
Oh, what it used to look like?
Yeah, I'm hoping they renovated. It does not look good.
So yeah, so that's the picture you just sent me. It's when it was the Wild Z, but that's what it looked like when it was Cheetahs too. But except the building was painted purple.
Small.
Yeah, and it's weird because obviously there's windows upstairs that are like boarded off, right? They don't use them. That upstairs is like it was their sports bar type place. They had pool tables and stuff up there and a couple stages and everything. But I gotta tell you, it was a dingy place. It looks like he cleaned it up, or him and his crew cleaned it up significantly than what it was back, 15 years ago when I popped in there for the first time down in that area, and it was.
We got the smell out.
Yeah. He was just chill. He's laying in his bed. He's like, night off, So he said Thursday to Sunday they're open, 9 to close them.
It started to bog out. Did you get that? Yeah.
He either said Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday to Sunday, but definitely weekends, 9 o'clock. So they don't open until 9 o'clock, which the people who really don't want to be, people go to a strip club before it gets dark out. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird. Nothing's really like. Me and Danger Powers, one summer, we used to go to the Banana every Wednesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon after golf. And I gotta tell you, you see some. It's not so much the girls dancing because most of those girls are there all day. It's so much the people that go there. You got a lot of older people that like will go there, like a lot of old men for the brunch. You know, they get there before they go get their 4 o'clock dinner.
I would definitely need a pair of headphones for that one because there's going to be music in the background and fucking...
So the away setup we're going to be doing is when I'm investing in the headphones with the microphone that comes off, so it's like one piece, so we don't have
like the one I have that.
Yeah, it's basically we're going to use something like that, and then have maybe 3 of them, just so we can bring someone on and you know, kind of crop it off very well. Again, run it off the laptop. I mean, it's not hard to do. It's just a matter of making it so I could use the camera. I want to use the camera I'm using for this and just take it apart and go there and plop it up and stuff like this. But I think, yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I like that idea. Maybe once I'm drinking again, set it up. We don't have to do it on I mean, obviously not open on Wednesday. We could do it like on a Friday or like, you know, we can pick a day to do it.
We go right from work down there.
Yeah, we'll take a little field trip. Maybe we can bring Noel with us. You know, little Noel. He could be our entourage. What the fucking word I'm saying? Entourage. There you go. Oh God, first day speaking English. Tough for me. Yeah. But we roll up in a crew with the VIP. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's like 50 Cent. Me and 50 Cent should really be friends because
I'm starting to think you got a thing for him. I'm starting to worry about you.
I told you the time that he bought me a beer after the Super Bowl back in 2012. I ran into him where at all places, a strip club in Indianapolis called the Red Gata, and we're sitting there after the Patriots lost, and 50 Cent came in with his posse, and he seen us a bunch of Patriots fans sitting, you know, at a table, and he sent us over a round of beers, and then he gave the old head bob. And, you know, yeah, 50 bought these for you. And then he left. He was out as fast as he was in. And then I was at the same hotel 50 Cent was in 2 weeks ago. He was staying in the hotel. He was at the pool party. Just missed him by minutes. So, yeah, that's a close counter right there. And then here we go. He opened up the strip club when it opened up a few months ago. So, you know, me and 50 are destined to like be buddies. You know what I mean? And we both have a shared dislike for Chelsea Handler. You know.
Well, he only hates her because like she threw him to the curb. After they used to fuck. So.
Yeah. And well, she said something about. She also mentioned. She said something about he only wanted to date her because she was white as well. So I guess that would be fetishizing, perhaps.
Yep, that's it. There it is, right there.
By definition.
Yep.
Which is probably not true. I think 50 Cent just wants to date hot chicks. I mean, who wouldn't if you were 50 Cent, right? So, you know, what can I say? You know, we summed it all up. We had a nice little cameo from Joe from Silhouettes down in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, Allen's Avenue. Check it out online. I'm sure a lot of our clientele that watch our show do probably enjoy strip clubs as much as they enjoy the porn stars that come on the show as well. So there you go. We are in fact booked through the month of June for guests and into early July. So each week we'll be having a guest coming in. The Bruins, by the way, are losing 3-1 right now at the middle of the second period. So things are looking very grim for the Bruins right now. So just keep that in mind. We won't be talking about them next week. Yeah, that's we're about to round off the show here. Sorry if you're watching the beginning of the stream and we got cut off. Thanks to Comcast with the weekly 7 o'clock dump out on the Arty 84 show. We understand that. But Mr. Mallet, anything going on with you?
Not much. You can always check out the Whirling Potato. You know, it's always there. Working on stuff. Whenever.
By the way, ice is completely melted.
Oh shit! Look at that, gone.
And the temperature of the water has risen somewhat too, so it's still a little cold, but it is definitely very hot up here. And you guys, I hope you guys appreciate us sweating it out for the show for you guys. We do it because we love you, you know. Sure. And as for me, you can check out the Wicked Explorers on YouTube. We hit 310 subscribers. We're very excited about that. And also DJ Arty 84 show. Get us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all that's dandy. And bars are open in Massachusetts. So if you need a DJ, I am putting myself out there. We sent out a bunch of emails early this week inquiring what's going on, because I'm sure there's a lot of places dying for DJs because a lot of them are out of work or they took other professions up. So we're going full steam ahead this summer here. So, and we'll be bringing the show on the road as well. So you'll be seeing plenty of us and hearing plenty of us, whether you like it or not.
We'll be tearing that shit up.
Again, I want to thank Joe from Silhouettes for joining us late in the show tonight, in his place down in Rhode Island. And all of you who watch the show live, we appreciate it. And those who watch it later on, we also appreciate that. So we'll see you guys later.
Stay cool.
Stay cool. Bye.